Darwin's theory is completely wrong. And not only is it wrong, it is one of the most destructive cultural beliefs that has been introduced to civilization that allows people to accept something like, oh, 1 million Africans died of starvation, we're throwing away food. And it's like, oh, that's okay, that's their plight. Darwinian theory, they're the losers, I'm the winner. Who cares? That's 1%. And they're the ones that don't give a damn about anything, but they know it's coming to an end. What do they want? Hold the control. And the control is, you brought it up, it's media and culture and programming and all that. And it's like, how long will it last? I go, not too long. You know, we talk about climate change, and of course everybody wants to be polarized. Oh, it's natural. No, humans made it. And I go, and almost all discussions like that, it's not the poles, it's the combination of the poles.
Survival of the fittest, a phrase often misunderstood, was coined by philosopher Herbert Spencer in 1864. It does not imply that the largest or fastest individuals always prevail. Instead, it refers to organisms best adapted to their environment, possessing traits that enhance their chances of survival and reproduction under specific conditions. Unfortunately, this concept has been misapplied to human societies, fostering the false belief that individual success or failure is entirely determined by biology and genetic makeup. This view creates a sense of powerlessness, leading people to believe they cannot change their circumstances without external intervention. Those in power, such as the pharmaceutical industry, exploit this vulnerability, profiting from health problems that often arise from poor lifestyle choices and other preventable factors. By promoting this victim mentality, a system is established in which people are conditioned to depend on external forces for solutions rather than realizing their own potential. This dependency keeps individuals trapped and unaware of their power to change their lives. The key to breaking this cycle lies in reclaiming knowledge and understanding that we are not isolated, individual agents merely fighting for survival. By embracing this perspective, we can free ourselves from manipulative systems, unlock our power, and create a world where collaboration and mutual support allow everyone to thrive.
Science has recognized, and this is a fact, and I say, find it in the paper, that we are facing, and NASA scientists actually had a great article saying that we are facing an irreversible collapse of civilization within the next 20 years. And I go, and science has recognized this for a longer time. I even wrote a book on spontaneous evolution showing the fact that we are destroying the environment in which we live. Fact of science. To support today's world, just the way it is, let's say we want to keep everything the way it is today, it takes 1.6 planet Earths to provide the resources for today's civilization. Clearly, there is no extra 0.6 planet Earth, and in the process of extracting so much from the planet and destroying, polluting the air, the water, the soil, polluting and destroying, the extinction is looming, and it's less than 2 decades. And you go, what do you mean? I say, we cannot sustain this. This is impossible. We're borrowing into the future so much that we have destroyed the present. And the fact is, we are facing an evolutionary upheaval. The simple fact to us, and NASA actually said the 2 facts that are behind this, number 1 is the loss of resources on the planet. Number 2, that the money is now concentrated in the hands of 1% of the population, and the rest of us are slaves to support that 1% of the population, as you talked about, by programming. And they know that it's coming to an end. I said, so what are they going to do? I say, if it comes to an end, there's going to be chaos. Go to the ATM machine, not working anymore. What are you going to do? There's no food in the market. So what do you do in a state of chaos? You disempower the people. So how do you do that? We only have power as simple individual humans. We only have power in community. If you're not in a community, there's no power at all. You got nothing going. Nobody paid attention to that COVID I was going to say shit, but I can't say that. I say crap, that COVID crap, because the idea was it wasn't lethal as much as they say it was. What it did show was that people who were not in health and way off, like 70% of the people in the hospital were super obese, another 70-some% of them were diabetic type 2, and another large percent were cardiovascular patients before the damn virus showed up. The virus is like the wolf. It doesn't take the strong out of the herd, it takes the weak out of the herd. So that's why the nursing homes and those people, they were affected. Everybody, focus on that. And the tombstones, blah, blah, scare you, okay? What you didn't notice was the entire world, with the exception of Sweden, there was no more community. Put your mask on, separate, don't talk to each other, don't congregate together. And I said, what happened? The entire world of individuals, there was no community. And a handful of people ran the entire globe and what we should do and how we should do it. And nobody paid attention to the fact is, you saw the first step of massive disempowerment. Nobody had power except for those people at the top that said, we know and you don't. A set of beliefs. And when those beliefs change, the culture changes, okay? And I say, what are these beliefs? And I say, there are three fundamental questions that have been asked and answered for 10,000 years with answers changing over the time. And they're called the perennial questions. I say, well, what are they? And the question is, how did we get here? Why are we here? And the third one is, well, now that you're here, how do you make the best of it? Mm-hmm. And the answers for each civilization that has preceded us had a different answer. When the answers change, the civilization changes. It happened every time. And the latest civilization is based on science. How do we get here? Accidents of genetic mutations. Why are we here? It's an accident. There is no reason. What do? Darwinian theory. Survival of the fittest in the struggle for life. My father learned it, and he never even went to school. It's a cultural foundational belief that this is how we operate. I win, you lose. Sorry, that was the rules of the game, according to Darwin. And I go, Darwin's theory is completely wrong. And not only is it wrong, it is one of the most destructive cultural beliefs that has been introduced to civilization that allows people to accept something like, oh, 1 million Africans died of starvation. We're throwing away food. And it's like, oh, that's okay. That's their plight. Darwinian theory. They're the losers. I'm the winner. Who cares? That's 1%. And they're the ones that don't give a damn about anything, but they know it's coming to an end. What do they want? Hold the control. And the control is, you brought it up, it's media and culture and programming and all that. And it's like, how long will it last? I go, not too long. We talk about climate change, and of course, everybody wants to be polarized. Oh, it's natural. No, humans made it. And I go, and almost all discussions like that, it's not the poles, it's the combination of the poles. Yes, climate change is a periodic process that happens on the planet. You can go back in history and see it. Human contribution, we're making it worse. We're exacerbating the situation, okay? So we are, in a sense, destroying the planet that provides for our existence. Knowledge is power. And when I give my lecture, I say, let me say the same thing, but in a different context. I say, a lack of knowledge is a lack of power. What you don't know disempowers you. And the idea, for example, that the public has been programmed that you're victims of genetics. And I say, so what does that mean? That makes you powerless, because it comes to health and all of a sudden you say, well, I can't do anything about it. My genes are doing this. And then you say, who can do something? And then you find a rescuer, and that rescuer will charge you to take care of that belief system that you bought into. So as long as you believe you're a victim, you will pay whatever money it costs to get out of being that victim, and no matter how much. I mean, it was always amazing to me that my brother had Hep C, and then this pill comes out. He goes, oh my God, I can cure Hep C. I go, yeah. It's like, well, what is it? I said, it's this pill. I say, it only costs $1,000 a pill. Yeah. How many do you need? 100 pills. I say, holy crap, $100,000. You know, we have the cure. Why am I charging $100,000? Because humanity doesn't exist. Darwinian theory exists. Darwinian theory says, if I can get it from you, I'm going to get it from you. and you scare people. In my recent lectures, I've gotten a little into this effort of talking about, I call it the power monger's credo. Those that seek power, here's how you do it. You give them the poison for free, and then you charge them for the antidote. I go, that's the game from history on to the current moment. The church gave people hell, which they actually took from Greek mythology, and they gave it to them. And then when Dante put in pictures, and everybody goes, "Oh my God, there's the hell!" And then what did they do? They said, "Well, for 10% of your salary, called tithing, we'll help you not go there." Well, they created the damn problem. Then they sold them the resolution. And I go, same thing with COVID. You're all gonna die. But we have free vaccine. Free vaccine, you lying bastards. There was no ever such thing as Pfizer gave you the vaccine. Congratulations, thank you, Pfizer. It was $1 billion of our own money. And then they say free. It's like they wanted you to have it so bad because that's disempowerment. And the idea is this is part of a game. Same game from history through. First scare the hell out of you, and then tell you how you can avoid the problem.
Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking work in epigenetics reveals that our genetic expression is not solely determined by inherited traits, but can be influenced by environmental factors, thoughts, and emotions. He challenges the traditional belief that genetics are the primary cause of diseases like cancer, asserting that stress and disharmony within the body play a far larger role in triggering illness. Lipton explains that the subconscious mind, shaped by early experiences and environmental influences, runs much of our behavior automatically, often without our awareness. By recognizing the power of consciousness in influencing genetic expression, we can take control of our health and well-being, shifting from victims of our heredity to empowered creators of our genetic destiny. Lipton's work emphasizes the idea that we can reprogram our subconscious beliefs and behaviors, much like changing the software on a computer. We can rewrite these automatic patterns by engaging the conscious mind, promoting healthier behaviors, and reducing disease risk. This understanding opens up a new path for personal growth, where individuals can reshape their health by changing their thoughts, responses to stress, and the environment around them.
50% of the women that have the gene never get the cancer. And that's a very important point because they never talk about that part. They said, well, how come they have the gene? They didn't get the cancer. And the answer is because they're not living a stressed life. Stress, and this is scientific reality, stress is responsible for over 90% of the health crisis on this planet. Genes are responsible for less than 1% of the disease on this planet. Less than 1% is connected to genetics. A very important fact where it's like, okay, this is how it works. Children, when adopted into a family where there's cancer running in that family, the adopted child will get the same family cancer. But the point, the adopted child has totally different genetics. What was the point? It was being adopted into a family where the programming of that child is what caused the cancer. There were no genes that were correlated between the family and the adopted child. And over 90% of cancer has no genetic linkage. Just all of a sudden, spontaneous cancer. It's like, no, it didn't come from genes. It came from disharmony. This is the science that I saw back in 1967 when I recognized that I can control the fate of genetically identical cells, not by changing the genes, but by changing the environment that the cells were in. And all of a sudden I said, but what's the difference? I say, what we just said a moment ago is you've all been programmed, public, have been programmed to believe that genes control the character of your life and you have no control, that you're a victim of your heredity. The new science says, absolutely not. It's consciousness who releases the chemistry to the environment that controls the genes. And you can change your consciousness, and you can change your environment. And all of a sudden I say, oh my God, we were programmed to be victims. It turns out we are masters of our genetic activity. And this is the new science called epigenetics. Epi, above. Epigenetics, control above the genes. consciousness. One of the things is that there's the hard part was, how did my thinking affect all this out here? And it's very interesting because we've all learned from experience that when you put wires on a person's head, it's called electroencephalograph, EEG, and you could read brain function inside your head. It's like, yeah, it's all working inside my head. And now there's another way to read brain function. It's called MEG, not electrical, but magnetic. Okay. The probe is out here, and the relevance is profound. What does it mean? It says, I'm reading your brain function out here. What does it mean? Your thoughts are going out into the field. They're broadcasting energy, and the energy of your thoughts entangles with the energy of the world around you, and in a major sense determines and shapes the painting that you just mentioned of ourselves, or who we are. And when people awake to this, that's when they come, I can't remember the name of that other population that you just mentioned, but the moment you're awake, all of a sudden it's, well, wait a minute, I can change the program. I go, that's the game. That's the winner. And you go, program? So let me just introduce this because it's profoundly important. The brain is a computer. It's not like a computer. It is the most fabulous computer on planet Earth is the human brain. And I go, so what? I go, but it functions in the same way that the laptop or desktop computer that you have works in the same way. And I go, what is it? I say, well, let's go back. In the old days, you buy a computer and you take it home and you plug it in and you start it and the screen boots up. And I say, okay, you got a brand new computer. Let's do something. And you go, well, I can't. I said, what do you mean you got a brand new computer? He said, first, I have to put programs in the computer. Then I can access the computer. I go, this is exactly true for the human brain. I go, what? It's in the last trimester of pregnancy. 3 months before you're born, the screen lights up. Boom, you're on. But yeah, but you got no programs. I go, well, where do you get the programs from? You read the environment. You watch the environment. And especially right after birth, the most important thing is this. A child's brain for 7 years is in a state of hypnosis. I go, why? Because, let me ask a question. How many rules does it take to be a functional member of a family? How many rules does it take to be a functional member of that community? I go, thousands of rules. You're going to take an infant, put him in school, give him a book and say, read these rules so you can be a member of a family? It's like, infant can't do that. Nature created the first 7 years of that child's life in a state of brain function called theta, which is hypnosis. I go, what's the point? Well, how do you learn the rules? You watch. You watch your parents and you download their behavior. You watch your siblings, you download their behavior. You watch the community and download their behavior. So I say, what's in your subconscious mind? Programs. Yeah, where'd you get them from? Watching other people. So I said, do those programs support your wishes and desires? And I go, rarely do they do that, but your programs, you needed to get it into the computer. By age 7, you've downloaded the functional programs of how to, be a citizen here, okay? And then what? Then you become conscious at age 7. And that's when you can type on the keyboard and put your information into the computer. And all of a sudden I said, well, that's because you are a creator. Your thoughts are going to put the information in, and your brain is going to use the computation of that to manifest a life that matches the thought. And I go, whoa, oh my God. I say, so I'm a creator. I go, yes, you are. But now, okay, the monkey wrench, let me just add this, Aubrey, because this really feeds into everything you talk about. The monkey wrench is this. The conscious mind is the latest evolution of the brain, right behind your forehead. It's the one connected to your personal identity, your spirituality. No two people share that. That's the one with the self receptors, okay? The subconscious mind, the bigger part of the brain, was there before consciousness. Subconscious, meaning below consciousness. It operates without you even seeing it. It's like the computer doing stuff in the background where you're working on something, it's doing something in the background. The subconscious is not creative. The conscious is creative. The subconscious is habitual, programmed. And that program runs. I said, when does it run? And I say, well, there's background stuff. Look, your body temperature is maintaining itself. Your physiology is running. Your kidneys are going. You don't have to sit here and think about that. But it also controls behavior. I say, so wait a minute. When does it control behavior? This, finally, Lipton gets to the point. This is the point. The conscious mind, which is creative, has the wishes and desires. You ask anybody, what do you want? The answer comes from the creative conscious mind. Okay? The conscious mind can do two things, and this is where the problem, boom, the whole problem of the planet right now. I say, what is it? The conscious mind can look out the eyes, like imagine your body's a vehicle and you're looking out the windshield, and the conscious mind is driving, and the conscious mind is taking you to where? Wherever you want to go. It's wishes and desires. But then I say, what else can the conscious mind do? And this is the problem. I say, what is it? It can think. I go, so where's the problem? Thinking is not looking out. Thinking is looking in. So the moment you are thinking, your conscious mind is not paying attention to the outer world. The moment you are thinking, you're inside and say, yeah, but what if you're driving the car and you start thinking? I go, this is the cool part. This is when you start thinking, the subconscious is autopilot.
Most of us know what we think we deserve in life. We often feel frustrated or upset when things don't go as planned. We might wonder, why is this happening? This frustration can motivate us to seek change, but also work against us. Instead of using that frustration to move forward, many of us turn it inward, doubting ourselves or believing we don't deserve better. We may push ourselves to work harder for a short time but soon find ourselves falling back into old patterns, staying stuck in the same place. Whether it's in our careers, relationships, health, or finances, this cycle happens because of the subconscious mind. Our beliefs about what we deserve, our sense of worth, and our limitations are deeply ingrained in our subconscious. Even when we consciously desire change, our subconscious can hold us back by keeping us attached to familiar patterns. We might not even realize it, but these deep-seated beliefs can sabotage our efforts and keep us from reaching our true potential. However, there is a way to break free from this. We can learn to reprogram our subconscious mind to support our desires, focus on our goals, and align our actions with the life we want. It begins with deciding to take control and commit to personal growth. The power to create change lies within us. What we believe and act on will determine our future. Now is the time to take charge, challenge limiting beliefs, and build the life we deserve. If you found this message compelling and enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.